Imagine knowing the future in advance. How does it empower you? Every year, the monsoon brings with it hope and joy for more than half of our country's population.
Agriculture is heavily dependent on the monsoon.
65% of the population is direct or indirectly dependent on agriculture.
Southwest monsoon is a lifeline for agriculture of our country.
The southwest monsoon are responsible for close to 70% of India's annual rainfall, and many farmers await their arrival each year.
Slight variance in the rainfall can directly or indirectly constitute a lot of interference in the GDP.
A good monsoon can create a fortune, and on the other side, a bad one can ruin also.
Now imagine if we knew of the amount of rainfall that was coming already. What impact could that have?
If a farmer knows well in advance that how much rainfall and what type of rainfall he is going to receive at his location, so he can plan his crops accordingly and can reap the benefits.
And that's where Skymet steps in.
Hi, my name is Jatin Singh. I am the founder and managing director of Skymet Weather Services Private Limited, India's first and only weather forecasting company. I've been doing it for 20 years and I made sure in India nobody does it. No, that was a joke. Since 2012, we've brought a cultural revolution on how monsoons and droughts are actually forecast.
Started in 2003, Skymet is India's leading private weather forecasting organization, providing timely and accurate weather prediction to various stakeholders, including government organizations, leading news channels and newspapers, banks, farmers, as well as multiple businesses.
Monsoon starts on June 1. In January is when our first draft of the monsoon forecast comes, and it's quite accurate,
Giving this country a 6 months lead time on the monsoon.
Over the past 2 decades, Skymet has helped farmers, governments, and financial institutions in assessing, mitigating, and managing risks. And that's just a start.
Skymet has come a long way in last 12 years. We have seen a huge gap in the weather industry, particularly the weather services providing to a general public. And the Skymet has actually created a lot of innovative products and the solutions, which basically creating an entire different platform for the entire agribusiness industry in the country.
The journey had humble beginnings, providing weather-based graphics for Sahara Summit, a leading TV news channel, in 2003. And it all started when Jatin first noticed something.
So I remember being in the Hindu newspaper office in 2007. There is actually a corridor in which they have framed important historical events from pre-independence. And I was curious when I reached the 15th August 1947 Independence Day kind of front page to figure out how weather information was being delivered. And I looked at the Hindu newspaper of 2007 and I realized there was basically no change in how weather information was being delivered. And that is when I saw an opportunity that India needed a better delivery of weather information.
A small observation which would set forth a butterfly effect, eventually leading to a mammoth change in the weather prediction industry.
I saw an opportunity, I went for it, and that has made all the difference.
Skymet took its aims towards the skies and never really looked back.
I guess that my first incubator was my father, who was working in weather, was working directly with government agencies like the IMD. I obviously was able to get a lot of data, techniques, access to scientists through his connections, and I learned obviously a lot from him. I also would like to thank Mr. Devraj Sikka, the father of Indian modern meteorology, who really taught me how to forecast the monsoon. He is an all-time great. And also Group Captain O.P. Sharma, who was our first senior Air Force officer, who was our chief meteorologist, who really set the ball rolling in this business.
A head start, the right guidance, and the best support system one could ask for. It seemed like the stars had aligned for Skymet. From a 1 or 2 person workforce in 2003 to a team of more than 200 employees in multiple offices across different cities in 2023, running a multi-crore business. The years have been fulfilling, but nothing short of challenges.
When I started Skymet 20 years ago, my goal was to revolutionize weather information, more accessible and more usable.
And that's where Skymet started to explore the scope of weather predictions, not only restricted to news, but to other major stakeholders as well.
We started going into different domains where we made banking and insurance products, and the idea was to actually not only help farmers but also help institutions such as bankers and the insurance and the government agencies.
This transition towards something bigger, to newer horizons and brighter skies, comes at a cost, quite literally.
So when I joined Skymet, the company's vision was creating a weather forecasting solution for the entire country. But when we entered into the market, we found that it is absolutely difficult to sell that product.
The seed of these new ideas needed nurturing and irrigation of money and infrastructure. And for a weather-based company, what better place to look for a solution than the weather itself?
So we thought that if we can able to create a product which actually help insurance companies to settle the claims faster and accurately, and indirectly that data sets basically will also help Skymet to create a new forecasting solution and improve the accuracy of the forecast also.
From purely forecasting, Skymet ventured into the direction of instrumentation business, assembling, installing, and maintaining weather stations for on-ground data collection. And that has acted as the backbone of the company's finances till date.
The returns from the instrumentation business gave us a core from which we could move in multiple directions. So we went from being a weather forecasting company alone to all things weather and climate.
The company's clientele also expanded to private businesses like port owners and power companies, so they could actively work with weather information in making informed choices regarding power load management, storage of goods, and right time of movement of vehicles.
Now we have a diversified portfolio of our clients and partners. Now we work with almost every insurance company in this country. We work with all major public and private sector banks of the country. We work with FPOs, we work with disaster management organizations, we work with the state government, we work with the central government, we are working with the World Bank, different developmental agencies, and lastly, we are directly, indirectly, ultimately work with the farmers of this country.
But just like the weather forecasting business also doesn't stay the same for too long.
This weather forecasting thing is very tricky because with the advancement of latest technologies, introduction of new players, the changing dynamics, changing weather, demography, so you have to be at your toes, you have to be updated every time.
In all weather conditions, Skymet must constantly stay ahead of the times, a challenge the team and leadership love to tackle head-on.
To identify problems, we talk with various industries, various clients, and try to understand how they are working. Means what are the different weather triggers, what are the different climate conditions are crucial for their business. We try to identify, and then the products are built around that. We tell them, okay, we can help you in this particular matter.
Our innovative products include Skymet Weather, Agriculture Risk Management System ARMS, Skymet Weather Information Management System SWIMS, Skymet One, and Skymet APIs.
Skymet is always committed to give out-of-box, cutting-edge solutions. But because there is so much happening and there are so many queries that are coming up, it's not actually possible for a team like I would say Skymet to actually cater to each and every need.
As it steps into a new era, Skymet is working with AI, machine learning, and remote sensing to come up with new innovative products that can provide data directly to customers.
I remember there was a time in 2002 and 2003 when riders used to be sent from television networks to Mausan Bhavan to pick up weather information in what used to be called cyclo-style sheets. Then the internet came and all this information was available online. And now we are in the era of AI, and Skymet has been through that journey all through.
Today, Skymet owns and operates India's largest IoT-enabled weather network, gathering key weather parameters. This entire IoT sensor suite is designed and built in-house. Powered by AI and ML technology, it has set the benchmark for precision agriculture, space technology, and geospatial data analysis. We also possess India's largest privately held proprietary agri-weather database. These advanced weather forecasting technologies and vast network of observation centers provide real-time data on rainfall, thunderstorm, and heat.
Climate change is to bring out the high impact weather events. Common man gets definitely affected, be it the extreme heat, be it the extreme cold, be it the floods which we have witnessed recently. At least the study of that will bring out in detail as to how are the conditions likely to be under a special circumstances over a different region, so that the information is disseminated to the common man, makes it feasible for that individual to be an effective decision maker as far as the weather activity is concerned.
But how do these products benefit the common citizen?
So we have introduced conversational AI into the weather forecast. People can just open our app no matter what language they use. So it is available in all vernacular language that are spoken in India. And we have tried to connect the last piece. So a farmer can just simply open the app and ask a question in his native language, and we will try to answer it.
As weather patterns keep changing and growing more and more unpredictable, faster and quicker access to better and more accurate information helps us all.
So, my vision with weather information in this country has been that there are two parts to solving this problem. One, that the weather information has to be accurate. Second, that it should be very easily accessible to everybody, especially when it comes to different literacy levels in different languages. And therefore, we have created a voice-enabled weather forecasting app called Skymet AI. And I'll just do a demo for you to show you how effective it actually is. Noida mein barish hogi kya?
आज मध्यम बारिश होगी.
The underlying question remains, do we really care about the weather? Should we? Climate change is getting real with each passing day. But who cares?
We do, and we have for the past 20 years.
My real eye-opener was Mumbai floods in 2005, okay, where actually I understood the gravity of weather, okay, particularly weather forecasting. Okay, and that was the year I decided that yes, this is the area where we actually want to progress and do something both for myself and for the community.
I'm very grateful to the service, to the Indian Air Force, and it always taught me to operate from the platform of hope of success. Never bother about fear of failure. Similar thing we are trying to copy while working at Skymet. Weather has got many flanks. You can use it n number of dimensions and further sectors. If the information is reaching to the right man at the right time, that is also a great service to the nation.
There are no calm days in Skymet. So every day there are new challenges come, new type of works come, which forces me or kicks me for thinking for new products, how I can work in Skymet. And that's why I like this particular work in Skymet.
The scope of application for weather information and data is endless, and this scope can and will be expanded to newer avenues in the future.
Weather forecasting is a tool like a telescope through time. You can view the future coming at you, and then you can make changes so that you can adapt to it.
Something this country has to invest in. Skymet has been at the forefront of investing in weather infrastructure. We have been doing this for the past 20 years, and we want to give this data free to our citizens.
As the only private weather player in India, Skymet has been shouldering the responsibility with gusto for 2 decades now. A truly David versus Goliath story.
Weather information and forecast is essentially a duopoly between one or two American companies.
And they provide weather information to most of the default users of weather across the globe, especially and also in India. We have decided to take on these guys. We are a homegrown weather company. We are able to generate far better weather forecasts, and we are able to contextualize those weather forecasts for Indian users, especially for agriculture. And I want to compete with them on my turf, on my terms.
For 20 years, Skymet has stood tall to all adversities and challenges. And with its IoT-backed, AI-powered and geospatial-focused foray into a new era of weather prediction, Skymet is ready for newer avenues and bigger challenges. Slowly but surely, heading towards becoming a future-ready forecasting, information and risk management solutions company.
Nobody knows weather in India like we do.
Skymet, beyond weather.